let's get into it. So I have been talking to so many moms who have their own businesses, finding out what are they struggling with, what are some of their pain points, their frustrations, and what do they enjoy about actually running their own business at home and being a stay-at-home mom and trying to juggle everything. And the number one complaint that I got was time management. It was, I do not have enough time. I always feel guilty. I feel guilty about spending time with my family because I think I can use that time to work. When I'm at work, I feel guilty that I don't spend time with my family and my kids. And it's always such a juggling act to find the middle ground, to where's that perfect place to spend enough time with everyone so that you and your soul feels fulfilled, but so that you also feel like you are doing your life's work and following your dream of having your own business. So today I have decided to talk a little bit more on my 5 top tips for getting more done in less time. And since about January, February, after I moved to the Netherlands, I was kind of in a rut. I didn't know what to do. I felt like I couldn't get anything done. Leah was full time at home. They didn't have time and space in nursery, and I had to, or they call it here Peter Speelsaal, which is like a toddler play group. And anyway, so I had to find a way to manage everything. I had to find a way to juggle housework and family and business and everything and keep everyone else happy, but also keeping myself happy. And if you have your own business or you want to start one, this is, there's no better time than right now to improve on your time management. So I have been doing these tips since about January, February. It took me a while to kind of figure it out for myself and implement this, and this didn't work, and implement that, and that didn't work. And long story short, I am giving you my top 5 tips for what has worked for me in the past few months. And I have now a very good rhythm, which I feel really works for me. So I'm going to give you my top tips. And I really hope that you can find value from this. And if there's anything that you like or dislike, let me know. Give me a comment, send me an email, and let me know. Let me know what works for you, because what works for one person won't necessarily work for someone else. But these, I'm hoping to save you, even if it's a week or a month's time in figuring it out. If you can use my tips and they work for you, I would be extremely happy. So let's get into it. So number one complaint is getting more done in less time. So my top 5 tips. Obviously, giving one up is not an option. Spending less time with your family isn't really an option, but you want to still spend time on your business and something that fulfills you. So that's also not really an option. So before we jump in, I want to bust one myth. A lot of people refer to work-life balance. You need to have work-life balance. I'm sorry, but I'm going to call bullshit on that. There is no work-life balance. Like, you don't just balance everything out. If you have, if you're working for an employer, then a lot of the times you are able to balance it out. You have work on one end, you have a life on the other end, and Friday when you leave and you shut down your laptop, you have an hour or 2 hours drive home, and you can kind of filter everything. By the time you get home, you can be fully present. But having your own business, having all of your emails on your phone and on your home laptop or computer and on your watch and everywhere, it's not just balancing it. It's not just you have the one and then the other. Everything is integrated. And I heard someone before mention that there's no work-life balance, but there's work-life integration. And I fully agree with that. Integration means that you don't necessarily shut one off when the other one takes place, but you learn how to integrate the two so that nothing is all consuming. So I don't know if you follow Sarah Blakely. She is the founder of Spanx, and I am a big fan. But she is a self-made billionaire, and yes, that is with a B, billionaire. So if you follow her on any of the social media platforms, specifically Instagram, you will see that she shares a lot of her family life. And for instance, a month or two ago, they were camping with their RV, and you can see her doing her meetings inside the camper van. And that is what integration looks like. Sometimes you're going to have to be on holiday and do a quick interview or meeting, but sometimes it means that you can go on holiday and your business is still running. Your business is still making money. You don't have to take leave or make less money because you really need that break. But you will need to learn how to integrate the two correctly. So if you want to really be successful in having your own business, then integration is absolutely crucial. So without any further ado, let's get to it. So my top 5 tips. Tip number 1 would be chunking. So I will give you a link to exactly what is chunking so that you can learn a little bit more about this. But the quick overview is chunking is a term for looking at everything that you need to do, breaking them down into chunks, and then putting similar chunks together. So this has done absolutely wonders for me. So on a Sunday evening, for instance, I will sit down, write everything down that I need to do for that week, and then I will start chunking it down, placing it into groups, and figure out how can I do things together. So I find it really hard to group everything together because food and school and work, you always kind of every day there needs to be something about that. But some of the bigger tasks, like food, I have managed to chunk together. So I have found a way to chunk it together in terms of meal planning and shopping. So the next top tip will be meal planning. So I will be going into that a little bit more. But this has helped me to group all of that in one session. So that doesn't mean that Monday, Tuesday, I'm not spending any time on food. It just means that I'm spending less time. I'm spending less mental energy on those topics. Something like content creation for my business. I don't do that every single day. I do try and chunk them together. So podcasts or blogs or emails, and try and do quite a few at a time so that when tomorrow comes and I have an unforeseen emergency, or my daughter is in a bad mood, or she's sick, or she needs more attention, then I don't feel bad that I need to be with her. I know that I can spend time with her without feeling guilty because the rest is taken care of. So tip number 2, that would be meal planning. So I have been doing this for about a month and I was very skeptical, and now I absolutely love it. I really love it. So this has helped me to gain at least 1 hour per day, at least. So if I can give you one tip to do today, it would be to sit down, plan your menu for the next 7 days, plan one lunch that you can make in advance for the whole week. And in my case, I do different lunches because what we eat, chicken salad or tuna salad or something in that line, or tuna pasta salad. But Malia is not that fond of it. So she toddler fusses, so doesn't like things to be mixed all the time. And today she likes potato and tomorrow she doesn't. So I try and keep things separate so that she can just eat what she wants. So I have been doing that now on Sundays, planning my menu for the week. And I hope to do it on Sundays. If I'm running a little bit late on a Sunday, or I just want to relax on a Sunday, I throw it over to Monday morning when she is at nursery. But then I go and I create a shopping list of everything that I need, and I go to the shops. Another quick tip is I schedule my shopping trip when, for instance, I have to go pick her up and I have 30 to 40 minutes. That means that there's no way for browsing. I cannot walk around. I have my shopping list. I need to buy this and be done because I have to get to school in 30 minutes. So that really helps as well. So I create a shopping list of everything that I need for the week. And then I share my menu on email, or in my case, I do it on my iPhone on a note, send it to my husband. And then if something happens during the week, or I run late or he runs late, we both know what's in the fridge or what's on the plan. If I have less time on Monday, I might swap Tuesday and Monday. If I have more time on Thursday, I might do a curry, for instance, on a Thursday if it needs a bit more cooking or something like that. Um, and if worse comes to worse, we eat a pre-made lunch for dinner, and Friday night we buy pizzas. But that means that we have healthy food that is in the fridge and ready to go without having too much worry. But the big thing is that, one, it takes time away from planning. I don't have to plan every single evening. It takes less time to go shopping because everything is already in the fridge. And for lunches, I literally have less cleanup because I just take out a bowl out of the fridge, we eat it, done. And that's kind of it. Tip number 3 would be identify and delegate, especially for your business. Delegate the $20 tasks so that you can focus on the $200 tasks. So you need to be able to identify them. So I would say sit down, make a list of everything that keeps you busy during the week, or during your day, and see what are some of the easiest tasks to delegate. So cleaning, ironing, walking the dog, putting your kids in a nursery for a short period, or play groups, or meal boxes that they deliver the food at home and you don't have to worry about that, or arrange a granny visit once a week. Unfortunately, we don't have any grannies close by. They're all back in South Africa. We miss them dearly. But yeah, so anything that can possibly save you time. Do not undervalue yourself, because you need to focus on the bigger things. And if you spend your time cleaning up the kitchen the whole time, then you are not focusing on the bigger tasks. So this can be anything, like I mentioned, from admin to get a virtual assistant, for instance, and let them help you with the admin or the marketing content, or replying to emails, or just bundle the emails into really important so you know which to reply to and which isn't really that important. Getting someone to do your taxes or your invoices and keeping track of all of that. Some of the tedious stuff that you hate to do, but that would take you really long. So this week, I, for instance, had an issue with my Facebook accounts, the business accounts. And I was so frustrated that I kept on clicking and clicking. Although I've done this a million times, I was in a wrong mindset, and I kept clicking and clicking, and I ended up messing everything up. And although I know I can figure this out, this might take me 2 hours, and I was not in a mental state to do that. I decided there and then, you know what, I need to identify and delegate. And in that case, the delegation absolutely helped me so much. I identified it, I delegated it, and the lady helped me to sort it out at 30 minutes flat. So, moms, this is super, super, super important for you. I had the same situation, and it took me a good year to get used to delegating. But 2019, I said to myself, this was my year of learning how to delegate, because I can hear the voices in my head. I have been programmed to say that no one else can do it as good as you can. I mean, even talking to you like this, I can hear my mom in the background saying, if you ever want a helping hand, there's one at the end of your arm. Or if you want something done right, do it yourself. I mean, I can already hear her. And this is so familiar, and I'm sure you can relate to this as well. But we need to learn how to ask for help, and then also accept help. So this is absolutely crucial. I mean, we cannot, in a good conscience, keep spending our time on the small tasks when we know we are capable of more. And I mean, that is where we get frustrated. That is where we wish we could done more. We felt like the whole day just ran away from us and I hardly did anything. The other day, I was at home busy cleaning the kitchen. I think it was just before 12 or something. And I thought to myself, Lindy, if you had a full time job and you were going to the office every single day, you would not have time to do this. So, why do we do this to ourselves when we're working at home? Because we're there, the kitchen is dirty, it'll just take me 5 minutes, just 10 minutes. And in the end of the day, that is the thief of time. So don't get caught up in the small nitty gritty tasks. Focus on the big tasks, which really need your help. And if you need to move your desk into a different room, if you need to remove yourself from that situation, unplug the vacuum or remove the washing so that you don't look at all of that, especially for moms who work at home. And especially now during COVID. I mean, I'm sure you guys have seen this as well, but I get so caught up in doing the everyday tasks that I forget to spend more time on the big tasks. So that's enough on that one. So tip number 4 would be schedule me time. This is, I mean, all of these are really important, but this is something I focused on from the beginning of the year when I was in my ruts and I struggled to get scheduling time, and scheduling more actually helped me to schedule less, if that makes any sense. I will explain now. So stop trying to want to do more and more. And sometimes you need to do less to get more done. So, for instance, my morning routine looks something like this. I have now learned, teached myself to wake up at 6 in the morning, and then I go walk the dog quickly, maybe a 15-30 minute walk at the most. So 6 to 6:30. Then when I get home, I do a journaling session. I get my notebook out. I literally just scramble all the mess in my head. I just write down on paper. There's no structure to it. It is just blabbing everything. And that has helped me to make space. So journaling for 10-15 minutes, and then I meditate for 10-15 minutes and just be quiet. And sometimes being quiet helps you to do more. So then I am completely primed for 7 o'clock, and then 7 to 7:30 I do work. Then I push to do as much as I can to get done. So in my journaling, what I will sometimes do is at the bottom of my document, I will write 2 to 4 things that I want to get done that day. So it's very easy, very simple to do things. So something like book a driving test, or well, I had to swap my license over, so book an appointment for that. Send an email to a client, create a media package, small things that I know I can get done in that day. And sometimes having only 2 to 4 things, that's really easy, helps me to keep focus. So then 7 o'clock, I try and focus on those things. I try and do quickly 30 minutes. And it's normally a rush against time because I only have 30 minutes. But this me time is so super important. But now I can already hear some of you say, well, if I wake up earlier and I have that extra hour, I'm not going to spend that hour on me. I mean, that's an uninterrupted hour of work time. I can get so much done. But I absolutely beg to differ. So if you are a mom, you tend to spend so much time on running after everyone else and not enough time on you. You spend so much time filling everyone else's jug, and you need to start filling your own jug before you can try and give water to anyone else. So there's this law, the Parkinson's law. Not the disease, but the Parkinson's law explains that work expands to fill the time available for its completion. So, meaning the task you set out for yourself, that the time will expand to whatever you allocated for it. So in my case, I only allocate 7 to 7:30 in the mornings, meaning that if I have 4 tasks that need to be done, I push to get those 4 tasks done between 7 and 7:30. And then I really rush because I know my daughter can wake up at any stage. And if she wakes up, I put my laptop down and then I spend time with her. So what this law means is if I allocate less time to a task, I tend to feel forced to finish it in that time. But if I tend to give myself a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, then the task tends to take 2, 3 weeks. So, I mean, that is an absolute super mom quality right there for us to really push to get things done in those times. So, have a look at the rest of your life and see if you can find examples like that. Let me tell you about an example that happened to me today. So, my daughter had to go to playgroup, and I knew I had 15 minutes before we had to leave, and I was supposed to get out the bicycle to get her on, and I knew, okay, I had 10 minutes left. And before I reached for the bicycle, I reached for our broom, and I just started sweeping the backyard. And I have to tell you, I put this off for probably about 2 weeks. So our yard was really a bit of a mess. With our golden retriever Zoe, she tends to chew everything, literally the tree as well. So it was really a bit of a mess. So I put that off for quite a while. And then today, when I had 10 minutes and just started and just allocated 10 minutes and said, you know what, if 10 minutes, that's it. When I don't have more time, I'm leaving. I finished everything within that 10 minutes. And that was something that I've been putting off for 2 weeks. I mean, I I stopped about 2 weeks ago. I stopped doing this. I stopped my routine. I stopped my morning routine. We went on holiday, came back, and everything was a bit blurry. And I stopped doing my whole routine. And all my chaos returned in my life. But since the last 2 days, I've started back on, well, this week, Monday, I started back on my routine in my mornings, do my morning routine, clear my head, and then things like this, grab the broom, do things, get it done. That seems to happen more and more often. In other words, I'm more productive in my 10 minutes than last week, almost in 2 or 3 days. So when I am prepped in the morning, then I tend to be more proactive and I'm ready for any situation. But if I wake up later and not without a routine, I tend to spend time on every nitty gritty small thing. And my whole day seems to be more reactive and I just spend time on putting out fires. But this is not something you would notice before starting this. So if I give you any advice today, if you take any advice today, it is to really try this morning routine for 2 weeks and then go back and see what a difference it made in your life. So yeah, that would be tip number 4. Tip number 5 would be to remove any distractions from your life. So really try and identify them and then remove them. In my case, my phone can be a very big distraction. So what I now do is when I record, my phone is on do not disturb or even on airplane mode. When I am downstairs doing my morning routine, I try and leave my phone in the kitchen. And I really try and chunk these into different groups. If I'm working, I'm working. If I'm on my emails, I'm on my emails. I mean, in terms of moving distractions, I moved my emails icon from my phone to the very last tab instead of the home page because I kept checking emails which weren't there. So, for instance, when Malia wakes up at 7:30 in the morning, I literally close my laptop, close my phone, and then I spend some quality time with her. In other words, I'm chunking my time. I'm not feeling guilty that I'm spending time with her. I'm not feeling guilty that I'm not spending time working. And yeah, if obviously I'm not perfect, if there's a time when I look at my watch, when I look at my phone, when I look at my laptop, I always try and stop myself and say, nope, I'm not doing this, and try and return my focus to whatever the priority is for that stage. And then I have a bonus tip for you because after talking to so many moms about what are some of their pain points and time management being number one, the second one was guilt. Mom guilt of spending not enough time with their family, but also not spending enough time on their business. And I just want to tell you, stop feeling guilty. It is not wrong that you want to spend time on something for you, something that you love. Stop with the mom guilt. If you want to have a career, then you can do that and love your kids. I mean, you can be a stay-at-home mom and not want to go back to your work. So don't feel guilty about wanting to stay home, but don't feel guilty about wanting to go back either. Guilt is one of the absolute worst things you can do, and there's absolutely no purpose in it. So love yourself, have empathy for yourself, and be kind to yourself. Um, we are all doing the best we can. That was my sister-in-law that said that. So thank you. And that stayed with me ever since I've had Malia. Is every time I feel flustered or down, it's like, I know I'm doing the very best I can. So I want to tell you as well, you might be overwhelmed with everything, but in your situation, you're doing the very best you can. So I want to leave you with one last note, and that is the air hostesses, a tip from air hostesses. Um, and that is, as they do the safety briefings, always in the beginning before you take a flight, the air hostesses always say, apply the oxygen mask on yourself before helping any other passengers. And I really want to advise you to do that in your business as well. Focus on yourself. Make sure you do something for yourself. Yourself. Feel what makes you happy and what you love before you just keep taking care of everyone around you. So, time management is extremely important, but it's really important to take care of yourself and to also spend time on what you love and have empathy for yourself and for your situation. So, thank you so much. That's it. That's the wrap up. So, the top 5 tips. If you want to listen to this again, you can re listen to this, or I have a blog post on this up as well. So, you're welcome to read it out if you want to. And then I'll be commenting some of the links that I've spoken about, the chunking, so that you can read a little bit more about that as well. But I really hope you have a lovely day further.